Shabbat Shalom, family. Our selection today, Great Day.
Great day, the righteous marching, great day. Yah's gonna build up Zion's walls. Great day, the righteous marching, great day. Yah's gonna build up Zion's walls. Chariot road on the mountain top. Zion's wall. Miles spoke in the chariot stall. Yah's gonna build up Zion's wall. This is a day of Jubilee. Yah's gonna build up Zion's wall. Yah's gonna set his people free. Yah's gonna build up Zion's walls. Great day, the righteous marching, great day. Yah's gonna build up Zion's wall.
We want no cowards in our band.
Yah's gonna build up Zion's wall.
We call the valiant-hearted man.
Yah's gonna build up Zion's wall.
Gonna take my breastplate, sword, and shield,
Yah's gonna build up Zion's wall.
and march out boldly in the field.
Yah's gonna build up Zion's walls. Great day, the righteous marching, great day. Yah's gonna build up Zion's walls. Great day, the righteous marching, great day. Yah's gonna build up Zion's walls. Chariot road on the mountain top. Yah's gonna build up Zion's wall. Miles spoke in the chariot stall. Yah's gonna build up Zion's wall. This is a day of Jubilee. Yah's gonna build up Zion's wall. Yah's gonna set his people free. Yah's gonna build up Zion's walls. Great day, the righteous marching, great day. Yah's gonna build up Zion's wall.
We want no cowards in our band.
Yah's gonna build up Zion's wall.
We call the valiant-hearted man.
Yah's gonna build up Zion's wall.
Gonna take my breastplate, sword, and shield,
Yah's gonna build up Zion's wall.
and march out boldly in the field.
Yah's gonna build up Zion's walls. Great day, the righteous marching, great day. Yah's gonna build up Zion's walls. Great day, the righteous marching, great day. Yah's gonna build up Zion's walls.
The oracles of the UCI, 1 Peter chapter 4, verses 7 through 11. But the end of all things is at hand. Be you therefore sober, and watch unto prayer. And above all things have fervent love among yourselves, for love shall cover the multitude of sins. Use hospitality one to another without grudging. As every man has received the gift, even so minister the same one to another as good stewards of the manifold grace of Elohim. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of Elohim. If any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which Elohim gives, that Elohim in all things may be glorified through Yahshua the Mashiach, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen. Ephesians chapter 4, verses 29 through chapter 5 and verse 4. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. And grieve not the Holy Spirit of Elohim, whereby you're sealed until the day of redemption. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. And be you kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as Elohim for Yahshua's sake has forgiven you. Be you therefore followers of Elohim, as their children, and walk in love, as the Mashiach also have loved us, and has given himself for us an offering and sacrifice to Elohim for a sweet-smelling savor. But fornication and all uncleanness or covetousness, let it not be once named among you as becomes saints. Neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather given of thanks. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verses 1 and 2. Keep your foot when you go to the house of Elohim, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. Be not rash with your mouth, and let not your heart be hasty to utter anything before Elohim. For Elohim is in heaven, and you up on earth. Therefore, let your words be few. Exodus chapter 23, verses 20 and 21. Behold, I send an angel before you, to keep you in the way, and to bring you into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him, and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. Revelations chapter 3, verses 20 through 22. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him, and he with me. To him that overcomes will I grant to sit with me in my throne, even as I have also overcame, and am sat down with my Father in his throne. He that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says unto the churches.
All right, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
It is so good to be home, man. Praise Yahweh for all of the prayers and everything that you guys put forth. It was very interesting travel. Yahweh is definitely doing some things. I had Christians praying for me. I had my Hebrew family praying for me. There's some things that Yahweh takes you through that will make you change how you look at things. And we're going to have to step up on a level. I had brother tell me, I don't even pray, but I pray for you. I got Harley riders praying for me, and I'm out. So, you know, it's been a really wonderful thing. Yahweh has truly got him some glory in doing the things that he's doing. And thank you for, Kish and Eliel stepping up and doing all the things that they're doing. I'm a little rusty, so y'all be gentle with me. Let's go ahead and get this thing started. Today's sermon is called Getting Our Houses in Order, and we're going to begin in Psalms chapter 18. Now, don't get it twisted. I ain't scared of y'all. If I got to leave, I'm going to leave. You know what I'm saying? Psalm 18, let's start at verse 1.
Verse 1. I will love you, O Yahweh, my strength. Yahweh is my rock, and my fortress, and my deliverer. My El, my strength, in whom I will trust. My buckler, and the horn of my salvation, and my high tower.
You know the small things you miss? I missed this book. I hadn't been see. This book is anointed for service, so it don't leave here. I ain't seen this book in a minute. I had to read some other books. See, I don't carry this book nowhere else. It's right here. So in that separation, I was also separated from this book. Hey, baby. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 3. I will call upon Yahweh, who is worthy to be praised. So shall I be saved from mine enemies. The sorrows of death compassed me, and the floods of ungodly men made me afraid. The sorrows of hell compassed me about. The snares of death prevented me. In my distress, I called upon Yahweh and cried unto my El. He heard my voice out of his temple, and my cry came before him, even into his ears. Then the earth shook and trembled. The foundations also of the hills moved and were shaken, because he was angry. There went up a smoke out of his nostrils, and fire out of his mouth devoured. Coals were kindled by it. He bowed the heavens also, and came down, and darkness was under his feet. And he rode upon a cherub, and did fly. Yes, he did fly upon the wings of the wind.
You know, a lot of times we talk about being in the presence of Yahweh, and we don't understand what kind of great fear that's going to be anywhere near some power like that. You know, Job said, I knew of you by hearing, but when situations happen, he said, now I know you. Okay, go ahead.
He made darkness his secret place. His pavilion round about him were dark waters and thick clouds of the skies. At the brightness that was before him, his thick clouds passed, hailstones and coals of fire. Yahweh also thundered in the heavens, and the highest gave his voice, hailstones and coals of fire. Yea, he sent out his arrows and scattered them, and he shot out lightnings and discomfited them. Then the channels of waters were seen, and the foundations of the world were discovered at your rebuke. O Yahweh, at the blast of the breath of your nostrils. He sent from above, he took me, he drew me out of many waters. He delivered me from my strong enemy, and from them which hated me, for they were too strong for me.
You know, in that hospital, Yahweh worked everything. There were great doctors, great nurses of all nationalities. You know, when we talk about the United Congregation of Israel, not this place, United Congregation of Israel as a whole, it's going to be a lot of things, a lot of different coming together, and all that out on an island and all of that. We're gonna see what that's gonna do, because we got some things coming that those on the island gonna be left out there on that island. Go ahead.
Verse 18. They prevented me in the day of my calamity, but Yahweh was my stay. He brought me forth also into a large place. He delivered me, because he delighted in me. Yahweh rewarded me according to my righteousness, according to the cleanness of my hands has he recompensed me. For I have kept the ways of Yahweh, and have not wickedly departed from my El. For all his judgments were before me, and I did not put away his statutes from me. I was also upright before him, and I kept myself from mine lawlessness. Therefore has Yahweh recompensed me according to my righteousness, according to the cleanness of my hands in his eyesight. With the merciful, you will show yourself merciful. With an upright man, you will show yourself upright. With the pure, you will show yourself pure. And with the froward, you will show yourself froward.
Everybody has to learn how Yahweh is going to deal with them. Go ahead.
For you will save the afflicted people, but will bring down high looks. For you will light my candle. Yahweh my El will enlighten my darkness. For by you I have run through a troop, and by my El have I leaped over a wall. As for Elohim, his way is perfect. The word of Yahweh is tried. He is a buckler to all those that trust in him. For who is El save Yahweh? Or who is a rock save our Elohim?
All right. We petition our Elohim with prayers, but we have no power or knowledge as to how he will perform these things. I have stated many times that I would never be a company man. Yahweh is famous for making us eat our words. After being an independent contractor for over 13 years, I prayed to be just his servant. In turn, he gave me another contracting job that eventually turned into a full-time employee, which is the exact opposite of what I asked for, as it appeared at the time. Father truly knows best, as his ways are not our ways. The job that I didn't want allowed me to do many things that I believed too difficult to attempt before. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 9. You know, I had it was another outfit I was supposed to wear this morning. Then that outfit didn't work out. Then I tried another outfit. That outfit didn't work out. And then Rebecca brought the third outfit, and we got halfway here, and then she realized, you're matching the choir. Yahweh do what he do. He ain't asking nobody. I've learned by experience that Yahweh allows bad things to happen to me so he can give me something good. So I'm waiting. Ezekiel chapter 9 and verses 1 through 11.
He cried also in mine ears with a loud voice, saying, cause them that have charge over the city to draw near.
All right, so if we're going to get our houses in order, it has to start from the top down. All right? Top down. Go ahead.
Even every man with his destroying weapon in his hand. And behold, 6 men came from the way of the higher gate, which lies toward the north.
And getting your house in order ain't, you know, this ain't an easy situation. You think about all of the stuff that's happening as he's about to do these things, but you just pay attention to the order. Go ahead.
And every man a slaughter weapon in his hand, and one man among them was clothed with linen, with a writer's inkhorn by his side. And they went in and stood beside the brazen altar. And the glory of the Elohim of Israel was gone up from the cherub, whereupon he was, to the threshold of the house. And he called to the man clothed with linen, which had the writer's inkhorn by his side. And Yahweh said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof.
Right. So then Lucifer is making a mark on his people, and Yahweh is making a mark on his people. Go ahead.
And to the others he said in mine hearing, go you after him through the city, and smite, let not your eyes spare, neither have you pity. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children, and women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark. And begin at my sanctuary.
You have to understand, Lucifer is a mimicker. He mimics Yahweh. So he already knows the story of what's going to happen. So then he mimics and puts his stuff out first. Y'all forgive me, that's my phone going off. We ain't using it today. That's what happened when you're rusty. Go ahead, bro.
Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house. And he said unto them, defile the house, and fill the courts with the slain. Go you forth. And they went forth and slew in the city. And it came to pass, while they were slaying them, and I was left, that I fell upon my face, and cried, and said, Adonai Yah, will you destroy all the residue of Israel in your pouring out of your fury upon Jerusalem? Then he said unto me, the lawlessness of the house of Israel and Yehuda is exceeding great, and the land is full of blood, and the city full of perverseness. For they say, Yahweh has forsaken the earth, and Yahweh sees not. And as for me also, mine eyes shall not spare, neither will I have pity, but I'll recompense their way upon their head. And behold, the man clothed with the linen, which had the inkhorn by his side, reported the matter, saying, I have done as you have commanded me.
And the entire thing here is, the order is, begin at my house. You start at the top. So when we get through, get to the point of dealing with these things in the congregation, all right, start with the priest. But do understand your turn coming. He working his way down. He said, oh, look at Esaac. Well, he got a little one for you. It won't be like mine. Because the higher the authority, the higher you get dealt with. So when you want to sit in that seat, understand what comes with it. All right? Go ahead, brother.
I was just going to say, and there's a mindset to starting at your house. That's where your heart lies. That's where your sympathy lies. So when I start getting my house in order, and he's saying slaying starting at your house, and you getting your heart felt in the close ones, you gonna have to take care of that business. Oh, by the time I get to your house, bro, I have no pity for you. Right. I done got rid of my own.
Good point, brother. 2 Timothy chapter 2.
Second Timothy chapter 2 and verse 1. You therefore, my son, be strong in the grace that is in the Mashiach Yahshua, and the things that you have heard of me among many witnesses. The same commit you to faithful men who shall be able to teach others also.
People that respect the charge that they were given, give them the charge. Yahweh is keeping score. It doesn't matter what we think, feel, and believe. Yahweh is going to show who he has chosen. And you're going to be surprised. It's going to be some Christians, some Muslims converted. You're going to see a whole lot of things. So if we look at things on the outward appearance, we're going to have some problems. But Yahweh does look at what he has given you and what you have done with it. So we stand in a place where our judgment is going to be different from everybody else's out there. What he said, begin in my house. But what happened? Elder used to say, yeah. He gonna deal in here. But after that, then he gonna go out there in them streets. So when you out there on the island, see if them little things you got gonna save you. See if he gonna look at your YouTube account and say, you know what I'm gonna say here, but did you see that video? We gonna see. Because when you go through some of these things, you realize what is real and what is not. And you can talk to people all day. They gonna do what they want to do. And when Yahweh show up, you got to do what you got to do. Slay utterly. Old, young, anything that ain't on Yahweh's side, gotta go. Thank you for coming out. God bless. Good night. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 3. You therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahshua HaMashiach. No man that warreth entangles himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who has chosen him to be a soldier. And if a man also strive for mastery, yet is he not crowned, except he strive lawfully.
So whose favor are you trying to get? Yahweh's. Go ahead. Your friend can't help you.
The husbandman that labors must be first partaker of the fruits. Consider what I say, and the Adonai give you understanding in all things. Remember that Yahshua the Mashiach of the seed of David was raised from the dead according to my gospel, wherein I suffer trouble, as an evildoer, even unto bonds, but the word of Elohim is not bound. Therefore I endure all things for the elect's sake, that they may also obtain the salvation which is in the Mashiach Yahshua with eternal glory. It is a faithful saying, for if we be dead with him, we shall also live with him. If we suffer, we shall also reign with him. If we deny him, he also will deny us. If we believe not, yet he abides faithful, he cannot deny himself. All of these things, put them in remembrance, charging them before the Adonai that they strive not about words to no profit, but to the subverting of the hearers. Study to show yourself approved unto Elohim.
My elder used to say, with all of those things you know that people out there doing, how many people have you purified? Yeah, you're doing this and you're doing that. How many people have you purified? He said heaven rejoices over one sinner that repent. Go ahead.
You know, a lot of times when we bring that up, we're actually thinking in our head, where the people that I spoke to at the gas station, where the people that I spoke to at the store, I don't see none of them showing up. And it can kind of give you some low self-esteem. But there's more to that. The people in the media department who are doing the works and making sure this stuff go out, that's work accounted on to them. So the people who come through the door and get their baptism because of this stuff you're doing, that's also accounted on to you. The people who, this is why I've been talking about documentaries. You don't know what documentary you might do and touch somebody. You might not understand that that's the reason they come through here and get their baptism. That's accounted to you. But if you just a seat dweller, what you got on your account? Verse 15, study to show yourself approved unto Elohim, a workman that needs not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. But shun profane and vain babblings, for they will increase unto more ungodliness. And their word which will eat as does a canker, of whom is Hymenaeus and Philetus, who concerning the truth have erred, saying that the resurrection is past already, and overthrow the faith of some.
Right. And that's something that you have to guard your spirit. You have to guard yourself to make sure that your faith is not overthrown by those in the circle that you have chosen. Go ahead.
Nevertheless, the foundation of Elohim stands sure, having this seal, the Adonai knows them that are his, and let everyone that names the name of the Mashiach depart from lawlessness. But in a great house, there are not only vessels of gold and of silver, but also of wood and of earth, and some to honor and some to dishonor.
So in the process of getting your house in order, it's not about putting everything at the same level. It's about putting everything at the level in which it has to do the job that it is supposed to do. And are you dealing with what was given unto you? Are you dealing with it in a way that pleases Yahweh, your Elohim? Or are you dealing with it in a way that pleases you? Trust me, when he show up, ain't no. Okay, go ahead, bro.
If a man therefore purge himself from these, he shall be a vessel unto honor.
So you can back that up and fix it. You can be a vessel unto dishonor, alter your dealings, and put yourself back and being a vessel unto honor. But you got to deal with that in truth and in spirit. Go ahead.
Sanctified and meet for the master's use.
Fit for the master's use. Go ahead.
And prepared unto every good work. Flee also youthful lusts, but follow righteousness, faith, love, peace, with them that call on the Adonai out of a pure heart. But foolish and unlearned questions avoid, knowing that they do gender strifes. And the servant of the Adonai must not strive, but be gentle unto all men, apt to teach, patient, in meekness instructing those that oppose themselves, if Elohim peradventure will give them repentance to the acknowledging of the truth.
If you look at Yahshua was harder on his disciples than he was on the people. He was nice with the people, but his servant, man, how long shall I be with you? Man, he dealt with them hard. See, people look at it and they don't look at it the right way. How he deals with the people and how he deal with those servants. He said, why you deal with them? Now, it was given unto you to know these parables. So I deal with them this way and I deal with you that way. And that's what the problem is. People still looking like, well, you know, I'm a regular person. No, you're supposed to be a servant. Well, I'm dealing with you soft for. Put your big girl drawers on. Come on. Now all of a sudden, you want to be tender? That ain't gonna work. If you get tied to a hospital bed, whatever, with both of your hands locked down and not able to speak, then you're gonna have to think about some things. But that was mine. That don't mean that's gonna happen to you. But a test is coming your way. Start at the head and you come down. Go ahead, bro.
And that they may recover themselves out of the snare of the devil, who are taken captive by him at his will.
But you got the power. You got the power. You just got to use it. I don't give you this word to frighten you. This word is encouragement to step up. Go ahead, brother. Where we going? 1 Timothy chapter 5?
Correct.
And let's start at verse 1.
1 Timothy chapter 5 and verse 1. Rebuke not an elder, but entreat him as a father, and the younger men as brethren.
Not anybody who call themselves elder. You got you're supposed to serve in a certain way. Okay? There's your physical age and there's your spiritual age. To be and sit in that seat, then you have to observe those things in that particular manner. And understand what happens. Now, when you put that there, the judgment starts. Remember, it says, where you going to begin? At the ancients. Start at the elders at my house. So when you say, I'm an elder, you get a whooping first. I'm grown. Okay. You get a whooping first. Understand that. But then we start moping. Well, man, why did this happen to me? Wait a minute. You said you was grown. You said you was an elder. All right. Begin at my house. Start with the ones at the top and work your way down. Okay? So when you deal with your house, where you go? You start at the top. That's you. And then you work your way down. Go ahead.
You know, brother, it's the equation. Like, most of us, when you ask, like, what kind of fish is clean to eat? What you gonna say? Scales and fins. Mm-hmm. Okay, what makes an elder? It's a two-part. There's age, and there's years of service. Mm-hmm. You got the age, but you don't have the years of service, you're not an elder. That's why people look at the age and they, no, don't come at me and call me no elder. I'm not an elder. I don't have the years of service.
And you know what? If you walk in the Spirit has the ability to give you all things. Mm-hmm. See? Because we can actually start service before Yahweh gives us and authorize something, but it's like once he gives you the word, what do you do? And not according to what you think, feel, and believe. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing that people just don't get. Yahweh is going to be dealing with more than just what's in this room. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 2. The elder women as mothers, the younger as sisters, with all purity.
Right. So there's an order. While I was out, Rebecca and Lael was dealing with the doctors. You have the elder women that are supposed to direct the younger women. As those things happen, they wouldn't let the two people come up in the hospital. So everybody else, all the younger under that, have to take their lead and do the things that need to be done on the other side. So understand, how does your house run? You got who's oldest in the house and who has the most spiritual thing. Now the equation gets different. Because when you deal with Joseph, he wasn't the oldest. Mm-hmm. But his spiritual aptitude was higher than the others. Okay. Go ahead, bro.
Honor widows that are widows indeed. But if any widow have children or nephews, let them learn first to show piety at home and to requite their parents, for that is good and acceptable before Elohim.
Right. Everything that happens in your house come to you. I don't care who's supposed to be grown, who has what. I got my own money. Well, get your own house. Because when you do that and come here, Yahweh coming for me first. And if you're willing to accept that, hey, man, say it with your chest. Go ahead.
Now she that is a widow indeed and desolate trust in Elohim and continues in supplications and prayers night and day. But she that lives in pleasure is dead while she lives. And these things give in charge, that they may be blameless. But if any provide not for his own, and specifically for those of his own house, he has denied the faith and is worse than an infidel.
Right.
Let not a widow be taken into the number under 80 years old, having been the wife of one man, well reported of for good works, if she have brought up children, if she have lodged strangers, if she have washed the saints' feet, if she have relieved the afflicted, if she have diligently followed every good work. But the younger widows refuse, for when they have begun to wax wanting against the Mashiach, they will marry, having damnation, because they have cast off their first faith.
Right. So then when you talk about dealing with things in order, those younger ones are supposed to pay attention to the elder ones. So we're talking about older and more experienced. There's experience in life, and then there's experience in the word, like my brother said. So you got to be careful who you listen to, because they can instruct you unto good things, and they can instruct you unto the lake of fire. And the buddy system ain't worth a damn in the lake of fire. Go ahead.
And withal they learn to be idle, wandering about from house to house. And not only idle, but tattlers also, and busybodies, speaking things which they ought not. I will therefore that the younger women marry, bear children, guide the house, give none occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully. For some are already turned aside after Satan.
Give none occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully. So he watches what we do and then go and report those things unto Yahweh, our Elohim. You see what your people doing? I thought you told me this was a servant. Look at this. Look at this. And he see things don't nobody else see. See, I ain't sneaking in the grass trying to look for you, trying to find out what you're doing. Yahweh, oh, that go right there. And that little bird, tweet, 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 tweet. Deal with this. Bird go to everybody's house. Bird at my house too. Go ahead, bro.
You know, one of the things you look at verse 14 is that equation once again. For the younger women, marry, bear children, guide the house. So as we as husbands want to beat on our chest, hey man, you have to learn how to oversee what's going on in your house while she's guiding the house. That's where the helpmeet comes in. If any man or woman that believes have widows, let them relieve them, and let not the church be charged, that it may relieve them that are widows indeed. Let the elders that rule well be counted worthy of double honor.
Okay.
Especially they who labor in the word and doctrine. For the scripture says, you shall not muzzle the ox that treads out the corn, and the laborer is worthy of his reward. Against an elder receive not an accusation, but before 2 or 3 witnesses.
So even though, you know, there is an extra, and that's what people don't see, there's an extra thing given. So when you see an elder that has gotten dealt with, understand that they were given extra opportunity before those things were performed. Go ahead.
Them that sin rebuke before all, that others also may fear.
Right. Yahweh don't hide what he does, so that he may get some glory. When I was picking out clothes, I said, well, you know, these right here, you know, you got these scars. Oh no, these trophies. I don't hide these. That's what the gang members say. I got trophies. I got shot right here. No, I ain't hiding these. Man, I got tubes all up in here. I had stuff going up in. Man, I ain't hiding none of that. I get glory because my Elohim has brought me through that. He ain't hiding what he do. So if you got to duck and hide and do it in the dark, it ain't of Yahweh. Go ahead, bro.
1 Timothy chapter 5 and verse 21. I charge you before Elohim and the Adonai Yahshua the Mashiach and the elect angels that you observe these things without preferring one before another, doing nothing by partiality. Lay hands suddenly on no man, neither be partaker of other men's sins. Keep yourself pure.
Right. Lay hands suddenly on no man. We just had a situation last week. I had to tell a brother, hey man, I wasn't talking to you. I don't want you to go out. But I knew that he wasn't going to do that particular thing. But there were new people who don't understand when that situation happened and I had to call the brothers to come out, hey, people who we don't know, just hold off, because I don't want you to go out here and lay hands suddenly because you think that's what we finna do. I already got to pull Yona from the top of the parking lot. You know, I ain't got time to be going and getting people that I don't know. And it's not any, thing against anybody. It's just these are the things that we're supposed to deal with. So we have to do things as pure as we possibly can. Because that's what a perfect try is. But see, we know one another. Before I went out there, I already know Yona was going to be first. Before I said anything, somebody go get Yona. Stop, go get Yona. Y'all, somebody go get. I already knew it before I got out there. That actually, I lost 2 seconds turning around talking to those other 2 brothers. Oh, he done got farther than I can get right now. It's all good. My elder used to say, you know people by working with them. So who you working with? Go ahead, bro.
Verse 23, drink no longer water, but use a little wine for your stomach's sake and your often infirmities. Some men's sins are open beforehand, going before to judgment, and some men they follow after. Likewise also the good works of some are manifest beforehand, and they that are otherwise cannot be hid.
All right, let's see, where we going, brother? Matthew chapter 7.
Matthew chapter 7 and verses 21 through 27. Not everyone that says unto me, Adonai, Adonai, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that does the will of my Father which is in heaven. Many shall say to me in that day, Adonai, Adonai, have we not prophesied in your name? And in your name have cast out devils? And in your name done many wonderful works?
So in Yahweh dealing with his house, he's going to also separate those who have done works for themselves and those who have done works for him. Is he accounting your work to him? Where is the authority? Where is the head? Where is the charge? This is coming from Yahweh. Okay, we got works. Okay, let's see who those works were done unto. Who is the head? Has the head received the charge? Let's deal with it. Go ahead.
And then will I profess unto them, I never knew you.
Now see, that when you talk about somebody who has been doing works and they've been doing all of these things, and Yahweh say, I don't know you. Remember I don't know you. No, I never knew you. What you talking about? My folks and we went to the thing. What you been y'all at? You know what I'm talking about? No, I don't know you. Hey man, that's gotta be some heartbreaking stuff. Go ahead, bro.
Depart from me, you that work lawlessness.
You that work lawlessness. Go ahead.
Therefore, whosoever hears these sayings of mine and does them, I will liken him unto a wise man which built his house upon a rock. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock.
Right. What is the foundation that your house is built upon? And Lucifer will take the weakest entry point. So you can have cinder blocks and you got the wife strong, you got your husband strong, you got all that, but you got a little screen door in the back. There's no reason for him to kick through the steel door when you got that screen in the back. And he just walked through that screen and sitting in your living room when you get there. What is the foundation that your house is sitting on? When you get COVID, I was there for 21 days out. Here is my family dealing in that situation. I can't help. I can't have no say so. I have no nothing at that point. So whatever you have not done, you will not do. Ain't no adjusting here and talking there. No, it's about what you've already done. See, the measure of your house is not how it runs with you. How does it run without you? So we spend our times, I'm going to protect the woman. I'm going to protect the woman. What happened when you out the way? Who going to deal with the woman? Message, pick up. Watch this. Go ahead, bro.
And everyone that hears these sayings of mine and does them not shall be likened unto a foolish man which built his house upon the sand. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat upon that house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it.
I want to go to Zechariah 12. Because when you talk about, how your house is measured in the strength of separating, I want you to read Zechariah 12 and 12 through 14. So we can understand that this is just not what I think, feel, and believe.
Zechariah chapter 12 and verse 12. And the land shall mourn, every family apart, the family of the house of Dawid apart, and their wives apart.
Right. So when you're trying to help a situation and that is not being dealt with, hey, hold on. Understand what's going to happen. You and Sugar Booger going to be separated. Whatever you hadn't taught Sugar Booger is going to end up being a problem. That says Yahweh. That's not me. While I'm sitting there tied to a bed with tubes in every part of my body, I couldn't make no decisions. The nurse is talking about, oh, you're a walking miracle. People who go through this don't come out. And look at you. Look how you look. I wasn't grasping that right away. Until they talk about how few people go through that level and come back. So I'm coming out, I'm half groggy. I'm all on this stuff. And here, the spiritual family. I was gone. These brothers and other brothers, I know Mishael and Mikael. I mean, these brothers coming down here. I already know. I ain't got to be here. I know Mishael was talking to people. Hey, brother, time to clean up. I already know that. I know that. When you know family, you know what they gonna do. So what is going to happen if you are separated? You got to get your houses in order. We spending time on trivial things that ain't going to help you when the rubber hit the road. Go ahead, bro.
The family of the house of Nathan apart, and their wives apart. The family of the house of Levi apart, and their wives apart.
Well, see, maybe my tribe won't be separated. Right. Believe that if you want to. Keep going.
The family of Shimei apart, and their wives apart. All the families that remain, every family apart, and their wives apart.
All right. Let's go to 1 Peter chapter 3 and read verses 5 through 7.
First Peter chapter 3 and verse 5. For after this manner in the old time the holy women also, who trusted in Elohim, adorned themselves, being in subjection unto their own husbands. Even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him master, whose daughters you are, as long as you do well, and are not afraid with any amazement. Likewise, you husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife, as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers may be not hindered.
So if you deal with the woman of your house wrong, your prayers can be hindered. So you got to deal with that house all the way down. And the more covenants you have, the more situations you got to deal with. Now, I was in the hospital and separated from my natural and spiritual family for 7 weeks. When I awoke, Yahweh brought things to my remembrance in the scriptures and how they corresponded to the things that I went through. Let's go to Leviticus chapter 23. Leviticus 23, and let's read verses 15 through 21.
Leviticus chapter 23 and verse 15. And you shall count unto you from the morrow after the Sabbath, from the day that you brought the sheaf of the wave offerings, 7 Shabbats shall be complete. Even unto the morrow after the 7th Shabbat shall you number 50 days. And you shall offer a new meat offering unto Yah. You shall bring out of your habitations 2 wave loaves of 2/10 deals. They shall be of fine flour. They shall be baken with leaven. They are the first fruits unto Yah.
All right. You should count on you from tomorrow after the Sabbath, from the day that you brought the sheaf of the wave offering, 7 Sabbaths. I was gone from this congregation 7 Sabbaths. Go ahead.
And you shall offer with the bread 7 lambs without blemish of the first year, and 1 young bullock, and 2 rams. They shall be for a burnt offering unto Yahweh, with their meat offering, and their drink offerings, even an offering made by fire of sweet savor unto Yah.
So that whole thing that Yahweh just gonna come talk to you, no, he got a book. What he come talk to you for? 7 weeks? 7 times 7 is 49. I turned 49 this year. Y'all ain't gotta come talk, hey, son. No. He give you something, now go find it. He's like, I talked to the Lord last night. You did? For real? It ain't how he talk to me. Oh, he talk, but not like that. See, this how he talk. You want to hear how he talk? This how he talk. So we hear somebody talking about, I talk to the Lord. Oh yeah, what he say? What he say? Tell me how he talk to you. Because I'm going to show you how he talk to me. Go ahead.
Then you shall sacrifice 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, and 2 lambs of the first year for a sacrifice of peace offerings. And the priest shall wave them with the bread of the first fruits for a wave offering before Yahweh, with the 2 lambs. They shall be holy to Yahweh for the priests. And you shall proclaim on the selfsame day that it may be an holy convocation unto you. You shall do no servile work therein. It shall be a statute forever in all your dwellings throughout your generations.
Where you at?
Verse 21.
Okay. Go to Leviticus 25 and verse 8. Now, what happens at the end of the 49th year in Scripture? Jubilee. I prayed to be independent. Yahweh deals with this in the 49th year. At the end of the 49th year, where you become this title of elder, is also where the Jubilee is. And let's deal with that. What happens also on the Jubilee, every man is returned unto his possession. So this is the freedom that you pray for. You just don't know how Yahweh gonna do it. All right, Leviticus 25, let's start at verse 8.
And you shall number 7 Shabbats of years unto you, 7 times 7 years, and the space of the
So you got 7 times 7 in 49 weeks, then you got 7 times 7 in 49 years. Okay. But he talked to you though. Go ahead.
And the space of 7 Sabbaths of years shall be unto you 40 and 9 years. Then shall you cause the trumpet of the Jubilee to be sound on the 10th day of the 7th month. In the day of atonement shall you make the trumpet sound throughout all your land. And you shall hallow the 50th year, and proclaim liberty throughout all the land unto all the inhabitants thereof. It shall be a jubilee unto you, and you shall return every man unto his possession.
The 50th begins at the end of the 49th year. Go ahead.
and you shall return every man unto his family.
So when you talk about being then returned unto your family, you got to deal with that. Go ahead.
A jubilee shall that 50th year be unto you. You shall not sow, neither reap that which grows of itself in it.
I'm saying, hey, I just want to be your servant. All right, I got you coming. You be done forgot what you prayed for by the time Yahweh give it to you. But you don't know how he gonna give it. His ways are not our ways. Go ahead.
Nor gather the grapes in it of your vine undressed. For it is the Jubilee, it shall be holy unto you. You shall eat the increase thereof out of the field. In the year of this Jubilee, you shall return every man unto his possession. And if you will sell aught unto your neighbor, or buy aught out of your neighbor's hand, you shall not oppress one another.
Okay, where you at?
Verse 14.
All right, jump to verse 23.
The land shall not be sold forever, for the land is mine, for you are strangers and sojourners with me. And in all the land of your possession you shall grant a redemption for the land. If your brother be waxen poor, and has sold away some of his possession, and if any of his kin come to redeem it, then shall he redeem that which his brother sold.
So even the land gets released in this situation. And when you talk about that, we are then dealing with the redemption of the children of Israel coming out of the daughter of Babylon. This is what Yahshua does as he comes to send all of the children of Israel home. It is that Jubilee. Everybody go home, the land go back to who it originally was supposed to go with. So you have to learn how he talked to you. And if he ain't talking to you, get by somebody he talking to. But be careful. Go ahead.
And if the man have none to redeem it, and himself be able to redeem it, then let him count the years of the sale thereof, and restore the overplus unto the man to whom he sold it, that he may return unto his possession.
All right, you finished that?
Yes.
Now, I have never missed a holy day since I began in the word that I can recall. I was blessed to return to the fold on the last day of the last feast. Let's go to John chapter 6. Yohanan chapter 6. And verse 32 through 40.
Verse 32. Then Yahshua said unto them, Verily, verily, I say unto you, Moshe gave you not that bread from heaven, but my Father gives you the true bread from heaven. For the bread of Elohim is he which comes down from heaven and gives life unto the world. Then said they unto him, Adonai, evermore give us this bread. And Yahshua said unto them, I am the bread of life. He that comes to me shall never hunger, and he that believes on me shall never thirst. But I said unto you, that you also have seen me and believe not. All that the Father gives me shall come to me, and him that comes to me I will in no wise cast out. For I came down from heaven, not to do mine own will, but the will of him that sent me.
Right. Even our God, King, High Priest Yahshua has to take orders, but he only takes orders from an authorized entity. When the adversary Lucifer talk, I'm not dealing with that. Go ahead.
And this is the Father's will which has sent me, that of all which he has given me, I should lose nothing.
So that which you lose, you're supposed to lose. Let it do. Let it go. Let it do what it do. Go ahead.
But should raise it up again at the last day.
When?
The last day.
So, understand as Yahweh makes these parables. Let's go to Yohanan chapter 11 and verse 1. So that you learn how to make the comparisons in your life and are not thrown off by people who say, they talk to God. And he told them this. Go ahead.
Now a certain man was sick, named Lazarus, of Bethany, the town of Miriam and her sister Martha. It was that Miriam which anointed the Adonai with ointment and wiped his feet with her hair, whose brother Lazarus was sick. Therefore his sisters sent unto him, saying, Adonai, behold, he whom you loveth is sick. When Yahshua heard that, he said, this sickness is not unto death.
Now, when you deal with, there's the part of your natural family and then your spiritual family. My mom is not in this faith, but when you talk about all of the things that happened when this went down for just being able to be there, those are the things that we do. But spiritually, there's that line where I can be there for you physically and all of those things. But when it comes down to the spiritual decisions of what and how I'm going to direct my life, it has to go according to the book. It has to go according to what Yahweh, my Elohim, says, But I do greatly appreciate all of the prayers and all of the things that were done. It says, honor your mother and father, and I honor you, but I can't operate, and deal with the things, because a lot of the belief is to go ahead and get, this medicine, and not understanding that, hey, where I have been, once you get that, you got a certain level of immunity, but that's for a whole nother class at a whole nother time. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 4, when Yahshua heard that, he said, this sickness is not unto death, but for the glory of Elohim, that the Son of Elohim might be glorified thereby.
It's hard to believe that your sickness is not unto death when everybody's saying, don't nobody else make it out of this. When your family called on the first day, they said, look, I'm just going to be honest with you. When the doctors say people this sick don't normally make it. And you out. You can't help. So whatever you have not done, and if you think any of your friends gonna go through that level for you, you are sadly mistaken. This ain't a friend thing right here. When you go to the point of losing what you got, not giving what you got extra. No. I'm talking about giving up. Go ahead, bro.
Now Yahshua loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. When he had heard, therefore, that he was sick, he abode 2 days still in the same place where he was. Then after that said he to his disciples, let us go into Judea again. His disciples say unto him, Master, the Yehudis of late sought to stone you, and you go thither again?
The righteous are as bold as a lion. The wicked flee when no man pursueth. We ain't gonna start now, but we gonna finish it. People don't even understand the grace that you say, you know what? No, don't touch him. Leave him alone. They think they got away. Go ahead, bro.
Even in verse 6, and that's kind of why I was chuckling to myself, when you look at verse 6 and through 7, our carnal minds would have said, this man don't even care about this man.
Hey, that's the way it appears as it starts off. But you see how Yahshua is gentle but hard at the same time. And somehow we can't grasp that. We see something hard and we go to whining. Oh, there ain't no love. It ain't no. Whoa. He is hard and soft at the same time. He's going to do some marvelous things. So if you all hard, you got a problem. And the thing is, what do your eyes see? Do you only see the hard? Because my elder used to say, oh, Yahweh take his spirit and he'll block your eyes. So you only see the things that you want to see. Oh, and it happened to the best of us. Ain't none of us immune from that. You can get in a position where all you see is what you want to see for that week. Be like Yehuda, Judas. What happened? Who did that? You did that. Well, here go the money. No, we don't want the money back. What happened? As he came to. It's hard to explain to people that something has been on you for quite some time. Until they come out of it. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 9. Yahshua answered, are there not 12 hours in the day? If any man walk in the day, he stumbles not, because he sees the light of this world. But if a man walk in the night, he stumbles, because there's no light in him. Now,
we're talking about dealing with this woman, though. See, we're not talking about talking harsh to a man. He's dealing with her about her brother. Go ahead.
These things said he, and after that he says unto them, our friend Lazarus sleeps, but I go that I may awake him out of sleep.
So we got, now Yahshua loved Martha and her sister. He is dealing, watch what she ends up saying in this thing. Go ahead.
Then said his disciples, Adonai, if he sleep, he shall do well. Howbeit Yahshua spake of his death, but they thought that he had spoken of taking of rest in sleep. Then said Yahshua unto them plainly, Lazarus is dead, and I'm glad for your sakes that I was not there, to the intent you may believe. Nevertheless, let us go on to him.
Now, get to the strength of the woman. Keep going.
Then said Thomas.
Go ahead.
Then said Thomas, which is called Didymus, unto his fellow disciples, let us also go, that we may die with him. Then when Yahshua came, he found that he had lain in the grave 4 days already. Now Bethany was near unto Jerusalem, about 15 furlongs off. And many of the Yehudis came to Martha and Miriam to comfort them concerning their brother. Then Martha, as soon as she heard that Yahshua was coming, went and met him. But Miriam sat still in the house. Then said Martha unto Yahshua, Adonai, if you had been here, my brother had not died. But I know that even now, whatsoever you will ask of Elohim, Elohim will give it you. Yahshua says unto her, your brother shall rise again.
Listen to what she said. Go ahead.
Martha said unto him, I know that he shall rise again in the resurrection at the last day.
I know he's going to rise again in the last day. So you have the faith that is there, regardless of whatever harsh saying is there. She ain't going nowhere. Oh, I know he gonna rise again at the last day. Let's go to Yohanan chapter 7. Yohanan chapter 7. And we're going to start that at verse 37.
In the last day, that great day of the feast, Yahshua stood and cried, saying, if any man thirst, let him come unto me and drink. He that believes on me, as the scripture has said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. But this spake he of the Spirit, which they that believe on him should receive, for the Holy Spirit was not yet given, because the Yahshua was not yet glorified.
So when you deal with the last day of the great feast, it represents that everlasting life. After you have the 7, there's one day after that. This is the last day of the feast. Yahweh allowed me to come home on the last day of the great feast. Have you finished
Yes.
that? All right. So in the quest to get my house in order, Yahweh my Elohim brought things to my remembrance by connecting them to the order of his house. 7 weeks in the hospital and 7 weeks in scripture correspond to the Feast of Weeks. 7 times these 7 weeks equal 49 days. At the end of the 49th year begins the Jubilee when every man is freed. I turned 49 this year. Next graphic, I returned to the fold on the last day of the great feast, the Feast of Tabernacles. The last day also corresponds to everlasting life, as it is the day that corresponds to the sabbatical kingdom. The day that I was released from the hospital was the 28th day of the month, which was a Sabbath. At sundown began the 29th, which was my 29th anniversary with Rebecca. When Yahweh comes, he leaves no stone unturned. Let every man examine himself. Remember the Sabbath to keep it holy.